and today I have a air signs reading for April 2026. So our air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and we have 4 piles today because when I was picking the cards, that is what happened. Usually I only do 3. So our first deck is our classic Rider Waite with her little coyote toe bone. Our Rainbow Tarot deck with PCC glass on it. Our Thoth deck with an arrow, a feather, and our Modern Witch deck with an acorn. Okay, cool. So feel free to pause the recording now and pick a pile, or you can watch the whole thing and see what resonates. So yeah, let's get into it. So air signs for April 2026, and our air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and that is Sun, Moon, and Rising. First, like 1 second. Yeah, for some reason I got confused about Gemini. Not sure why. Yeah. Oh. Hold on 1 sec. I'm gonna pause this and start back into it. Okay, sorry about that. You will not notice that. I'll edit that together, but I'll probably still have me saying that I'm disappearing and coming back. I just have a little prayer that I say before I do a reading, and I forgot to do it because I'm slightly off my game. I've had a sick kid all week, and so it's been a weird week. It's been kind of like in a weird limbo state a little bit, just kind of surviving ultimately. Is what's been going on. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, pile 1 for our air signs for April 2026. What messages do you have? What messages do you have for our air signs? 2026. That's all? More? No? Okay. All right, we got our Knight of Swords, 2 of Cups, Queen of Wands, 7 of Cups, and our King of Cups. Interesting. Lots of cups for you, air signs. Don't rush into any relationships or partnerships next month. These cards are just like, that was the first thing that came out. Like, do not rush into anything. This night is this night this night is just like, full speed ahead into a relationship, and I'm feeling like maybe you should don't rush into anything, is sort of what this is saying. With this Queen of Wands, like, she looks very measured. although she is fire. No, I think, yeah. I think that let's put it this way. If you slow your roll a little bit, the things that the people or things that are requiring you to do it at this rate, if they're not serious about you, if they're not serious about the situation, and they're not willing to wait, then they'll fall by the wayside, and it wasn't worth it to do it with them anyways. So yeah, with even though there is this wand, which could be like could be relationship things and passion and a fire for things. Um, it yeah, I think it's definitely like this is resonating for you, pile one. For those this is resonating with, yeah, just take it slow, right? No need to rush into anything next month. You're having the Seven of Cups. You are in a place where you are, you know, you're integrating all these different aspects of you. This can be the card of confusion, but I also think it could mean that you are, you're working on yourself. You have all these different sides to you, and you are working to. Sorry, I just got a weird alert. Let me turn my Bluetooth off. Yeah, you're working to integrate all these different aspects of yourself, and I think in this waiting, in this taking the time to integrate, you're sitting with this King of Cups energy. You are relaxed, you're at peace, you can handle the waves as they come by. You're not so much on this emotional roller coaster, and it gives you an opportunity to just really take everything in and be present, and just enjoy where you're at in this moment. So yeah, pile one. Whoever that sits with, that came through really loud and clear. So hopefully it connects with one of you. I've been doing like a little advice card from the Spirit Animal Tarot. Any additional advice for our pile ones? Horse Spirit. Freedom is yours. Let's see, I'm just getting to know these, so I am referencing the card, the box still, or the booklet still, but not for forever. Let's see. Or maybe for forever, or whatever. I'm not trying to be so pressed about it. When Horse Spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It's time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom of choice. Horse Spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you to far better places, a better situation, and a better state of being. For there is no one but you to rein in your will and make a different decision. You're capable of making powerful choices that will affect you for a long time to come. So I think this is really about this Seven of Cups card and integrating these different aspects of yourself. And letting things come to fruition. It doesn't have to happen fast. It doesn't have to be like a U-Haul situation with someone. Like you don't have to you don't have to go on one date and then never separate from them. That's what I did with my. That's not true. Okay, cool. Let's move on to pile two. That was a speedy one. Yeah, this deck is the one I read with pretty much all the time for myself. And so So things usually come out a little fast for that one because I use it all the time and I feel like it has a lot to say, which is nice. These other decks, some of them I'm getting to know more. Some of them I've had for a minute. You know, just figuring it out. A lot of what I do is like trying to get like intuitive messages, and then the cards are kind of like a vehicle for that. So I think sometimes that's why maybe the way I read cards might not be like the way another tarot interpreter would, or another tarot reader would interpret them. But I think that's true pretty much like across the board. Like you're getting different things from a different reader, which is why people like having readings from different people. All right, what messages do we have for our pile 2? People who picked pile 2 for April, our air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That's too many cards. All right, let's see. We got these cards. You know, I did pick 4 decks because I thought they all had something to say, but maybe this one changed its mind. This deck was like, you questioned me. Don't have anything to say. Alright, there we go. Any more cards? Okay. No, that's a lot. I didn't realize there's that many out. Okay, cool. Oh gosh, okay, this is a ton of cards. Alright, well, let's see if we can make sense of this. That deck was like, I have something to say. Here, I'll show you. 7 of Cups, again. That came up in the last one too. The Strength card. 9 of Wands. 6 of Pentacles. The Lovers. Temperance. And the Knight of Cups. Yeah, this is feeling a little bit like slow down a little bit too, kind of like with our other one. Our other one was saying like, you really want to rush into this, don't rush into this. This is more feeling like, I think if your pace is slow, keep that pace, you know, keep your pace sort of situation. But yeah, I think for the 7 of Cups for this one, it's feeling like there's a lot of different ways to get to the same result. There's a lot of different paths you could take to get you to, you know, the same place, to the place you want to go. And there is it feels like there's maybe some like inner conflict for you with these kind of like more these cards that kind of popped up more in the middle. The Strength card, the what is it again? The 9 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. It's feeling like a little bit of like things warring inside of you a little bit, right? So you have the Strength card, which is asking you to like stand your ground a little bit, to like press forward, to like really grit and do the thing. And then the Nine of Wands is having this thing of like kind of like surviving, right? Like you've been in this mode of like you're still here, you still have all of your wands, but like you're injured, you know, and you're still holding your ground, and you haven't let go, you know. And the Six of Pentacles is, in this instance, is all these people needing something from you, you know. And so I think you're in this place where it sort of feels like a little bit like self-sacrificing, you know. And it feels like something you're doing to yourself, you know. And you're kind of maybe making a situation harder than it needs to be, because you're maybe doing things for other people, but the inner dialogue of that is like, oh, these people need me to do all these things for them, rather than just doing it because you want to do it, or at the same time doing something because you want to do it, and doing something, you know, out of this like sense of obligation, or to appear to be a good person, or what have you. And yeah, I think especially kind of with the Seven of Cups, you're being told that you can choose a different way forward. You don't have to like exist in this position where you are in this state of mind, right? It doesn't necessarily feel like the actions that you're performing are like anything harmful or what have you, but the way you're telling yourself about it feels quite conflicting, and it feels quite detrimental to kind of your mental health, honestly, and for your ability to be open to opportunities. Because as we move into these next set of cards, we have the Lovers and Temperance and the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is a little bit like a knight in shining armor sort of situation for me, or like, yeah, coming home to your love, to your life after you've kind of been through this other thing. So it does feel like there's an element of moving through these energies and this mental space, maybe a little bit, that you've been in, into building really solid relationships with equal give or take, or not that things aren't equal all the time in a relationship, but equal in the sense that it feels equal for both of you. That doesn't mean everything is 50-50. It just means however it works out, whatever the divide is, it feels okay for both of you. Yeah, the pile two, it feels like, yeah, I think you should there are some really like cool things on the other side of this narrative you have running in your head. If you can step out of it and get into this Lovers. There's some patience required, obviously, to get there. And Knight of Cups, where you can be a part of something and feel truly a part of it, and not have this thing in your head where, like, I think sometimes for people in relationships, it can be easy to, like, let's see what I want to say. I think what could serve you is, in relationship with others, just acknowledge that the other person is doing the best they can, right? They're not out to get you. So they're doing the best that they can, and in what they're capable of. As long as there's I'm not going to do all the caveats because, as long as there's like freedom of choice and, whatever. But for the most part, like if you really want to be with someone, I think it's helpful to frame it as like they're doing the best they can and contributing the best way that they can. So even some days, if that doesn't look like a lot, other days it will. And I think it's helpful to frame things that way, because then there's not this like there's not this like warring part inside of you that's like, well, I'm giving all this, I'm giving so much, and I'm doing all I can, and I'm self-sacrificing, right? It's rather like, oh, well, today I have more energy to do these things than they do, and so I'm going to do them without fault or blame, So, yeah, let's see what... I've got a spirit animal. Get this one? Is that one? Oh, there's several. The dove spirit, be peace. Let's see what this one says. With her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you, and the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within you as you embody tranquility above, below, and all around you. Much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker. Ask yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as a spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. So, there you have it. Have some, be at peace, have some compassion in your heart for the person you love and yourself, honestly. You're doing okay. All right. So that is our second pile for our air signs for April. Okay, this is our third deck pile. Thoth, this was the feather. I don't think I've been saying on all of them. That's okay. Alright, let's see what this deck has to say to us for our pile number 3. For our air signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for April 2026. All right. Too many cards, please, less at a time. Okay. Let's get it together. Oh, can't believe that March is over. April 1st is Wednesday. That's crazy. It's been a weird month. Every month this year has been a weird month, honestly. I feel like every month this year I'm saying, that's been a weird month. Okay, dude, you're spitting out like tons of cards every time. Can we just do like... Okay, any more? Cool. Interesting. We have gotten knights in every reading so far. This one we got 2 knights. So we got our Princess of Wands, our Knight of Discs, Fool. Our Six of Wands, which says victory. And our Knight of Cups, which was that the knight in the first? Was it? I can't remember, to be honest. Do I put these on top? Sorry, I just want to look real fast. No, because I can't remember. No, Knight of Swords. Okay. Pile 3. Yeah, it feels like you're kind of in a bit of a holding pattern almost. This Princess of Wands feels like she's, like falling down to somewhere, And then this Knight of Wands, or Knight of Discs, he feels like a little bit, sorry, computer went to sleep. He feels a little bit like, well, the horse looks a little bit like tired, He feels like he's looking, towards something. So I think there's an element here of maybe being pulled in a direction. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I think for pile 3, you've kind of been pulled into a direction that feels off the path a little bit, like it feels off of your trajectory. And that doesn't have to be true, meaning I don't think you have to look at it that way. I think sometimes detours can be useful. I need to remind myself of this. Yeah, sometimes a detour is more than just a detour, it's a whole different route to get to where you want to go. And yeah, it feels like you've been pulled in a direction that maybe you don't like, or maybe you weren't expecting. And you're kind of in this Knight of Discs position where you've fallen down, and you're looking like, okay, how do I get there? And you're kind of tired. You are a little bit downtrodden. You've maybe tried to mount this mountain several times, and you keep kind of falling back to where you've been. And I think these cards are telling you to take a fool's journey, take a fool's perspective to, it's not even, if you're taking it from the perspective of the fool, you're not getting back on the path you've been on, you're starting a new journey, So I think you can get really bogged down by trying to get back to where you've been, but the best way forward is to begin again and start a new path. It could look very similar to your old path, but I think where you keep running into issues, pile 3, is trying to get back to somewhere instead of moving forward and taking a beginner's mind, even if it's something you've been doing for a really long time. there's still a lot for you to learn, and there's still a lot of opportunity and connection and new things on the way if you open yourself up to, to starting again. So we have the Fool there, encouraging us to begin again. And then we have the Six of Wands, and in this deck that says victory. I'm wondering if there's like any insight on like, or maybe like any synchronicities or things to look for to kind of just like allow another Wands card, Fire. It has like a little, I think, is that a cheetah or jaguar? Queen of Wands. This is, yeah, I think the beginning of this Fool journey starts really with following your desires, following your passions. Where is your heart leading you? What is something you keep gravitating towards? Whether that's like in books you're reading or videos you're watching, like what is the thing you find yourself gravitating towards? And then find ways to move towards that, even if it's really small steps. And then, yeah, literally this Knight of Cups, he's reaching forward and he's grabbing the thing. He's got his wings and he's reaching forward and he's grabbing the chalice. And so, yeah, I think if you move towards this beginning, I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you get to where you want to be. And when you look back on it, it might, you might have been on the path all along, So, let's see if there's any spirit animal advice for you. These cards are hard to shuffle, so I think I like doing it kind of this funky little weird way. Electric Eel Spirit, bring your ideas to life. So, there we go. I don't think we need to read anything. Bring your ideas to life. That's the trajectory. What things is percolating in your brain that you want to make? Start making them. Making whatever it is. Okay. On to our Modern Witch deck. Sorry, let me put these. My wife crocheted these cute little bags for me for my cards. There's this one, just very soft. This was the first iteration, so it's got a little tie. But this one's better with like this tie in it. But I like this one too. I like the color of this yarn. Sorry, I'm not sure why I'm choosing to do this this exact moment instead of off camera. But oh well, we are doing it. We are doing it this way. Okay. All right, the last one for air signs for April 2026. This is our Acorn, our Modern Witch deck. Pile 4. Any messages for our air signs, Sun, Moon, and Rising Libra, and Aquarius for the month of April 2026. Oh, let's see, sorry, 30. Sorry, I didn't write down the timestamps while I'm going because it's easier to do that. Any messages for our air signs? Pile 3, pile 4, April 2026. April, crazy. Got a lot of birthdays in my family in April. My brother-in-law, my wife, my nephew, and my dad. All April birthdays. Any messages? I think I gotta switch up my shuffling technique. To what? I don't know. But it feels, I feel like I'm being called to switch it up a little bit. Okay. Or maybe I just want to switch it up. Let's see, any more messages? These two. Any more messages for our pile 4? Okay. All right. Huh. Dang, lots of major arcana. So we have the Death card, the King of Swords, the Magician, the Six of Wands, the Lovers, and the Page of Swords. I think that you have been really holding on to an element of yourself that this King of Swords is representing. I think you've really held on to this idea of you being an intellectual, potentially being a materialist. That's maybe fading away, obviously. If you're watching a tarot video, that's funny. Yeah, I feel like there's this aspect of you that's been very like rigid, very intellectual, very like in your headspace, that you're being asked to not hold so rigidly to. I don't think you have to let go of this side of yourself completely, definitely not. But I think you are being asked to allow yourself to be open to other possibilities and allow yourself to be open to the possibility of your own abilities, your own ability to create, your own ability to have, like maybe some sort of gift to use magic, to spellcast, different ways to interact with energy systems and move through reality, just in a little bit of a different way. So I think you're being asked to let go of these rigid systems that you've really, it's not an easy death process. It's a really deep grief and letting go of these things that you held as like the utmost truth for the most of your life. So it's definitely not an easy transition. But I think you're being asked to just allow yourself to be more open to these other possibilities, and to it feels like with the Six of Wands and the Lovers, after this Magician, you're maybe being called to carry some of this wisdom, some of the things you fought to embody and to learn. You're being asked to carry that back to your relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a partner relationship. I think it could be friendships. I think it's just any people you're in relation with. I think there's an energy here to support you for the month of April in moving into being open about these different, owning and honoring these different sides of yourself that maybe you haven't shown anybody, and being open to that being received well. And I think the Page of Swords is also here at the end of this to encourage you to, take a... It's interesting, the juxtaposition of the King of Swords at the beginning. You're kind of like asked to let go of that, to like let this like tight hold on this side of you, of this aspect of yourself to kind of like die, but then bringing it back at the beginning, but as a page. So it's sort of like this full circle sort of like integration of integrating these two, letting the rigidity of this die with the Death card, allowing this more like flexibility of creation to come through, bringing that into your relationships, and then beginning again at this Page of Swords, now having integrated this Magician aspect. Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, let's see what your Animal Oracle card is. The Deer Spirit, bring a gentle touch. Yeah, I think this is kind of like with this little pile, the Six of Wands and the Lovers, when you're bringing, when as you're going through this process and integrating these different aspects of yourself, and sharing that with people you love, do it, with a light touch is your advice. Pile 4. So, good luck for the month of April. Wish you the best. And let me know how it goes. I want to hear about it, how this resonated, how, if you have any other reading requests, if you want to book a reading with me, feel free to go to my website. It's linked in the description, or you can message me on Instagram. And catch you in the next one.